This is Brave Words, true stories told well. Welcome. I'm Adrian Ferreira.
And I'm Rob Carlton. Our storyteller today is Andrew Henry. Andrew is an artistic director and one of Australia's most audacious theatre producers. Co-founder of Redline Productions, he transformed Sydney's tiny Old Fitz Theatre into a cultural lightning rod. His new theatre production company, Andrew Henry Presents, has an extraordinary string of credits, and it's only a few years in. They headlined at the Sydney Opera House with Michael Sheen in Amadeus. He reimagined Death of a Salesman starring Anthony LaPaglia in a national smash hit. Hedwig and the Angry Inch toured nationally last year, and he opened the landmark stage adaptation of Max Porter's Grief is the Thing with Feathers in collaboration with Belvoir Street, where it went on to sweep the Sydney Theatre Awards with 5 wins.
Andrew Henry Presents is about to bring back the global phenomenon Prima Facie, the original production that came out of Griffin Theatre. This launched Prima Facie into the world as one of Australia's most prolific arts exports, and that production will be touring Sydney and Melbourne in May and June this year. This story of Andrew's was recorded live at Lion's Den, and it's called Superfan.
Beliebers, Cumber bitches, Swifties, Little Monsters, Katy Cats, Cheerios, Para-whores, Maggots, the name given to the superfans of the nihilistic pantomime that is Slipknot. Robbie Williams. Excavating this little journey tonight is unique for me. This isn't a yarn that I share with my mates over ales. I don't have any record of it in my house, and I made sure that I'd slept with my previous girlfriend 37 and a half times before I ever told her anything about it. 17 years ago, although I didn't realize it at the time, I was a Robbie Williams superfan. I moved in to a new apartment a little while ago. I was unpacking boxes that had been stored at my parents', things that I thought would benefit my new abode. The scan pans were a big tick. But underneath them, forgotten, was my Robbie Williams cornucopia. Every CD, every deluxe edition of the CDs, every DVD, every deluxe edition of the DVDs, every single Robbie Williams album on vinyl. Let that fucking sink in. People claiming that vinyl is the most pleasurable way to listen to music, ladies and gentlemen, they are not wrong. You don't need to think too hard, do you, to conjure up the beautiful crackling of that needle supporting the already masterful lyrics of Do the Rude Box. Shake your rude box. Do the rude box. Shake your rude box. It was absolutely worth the $70 plus UK shipping and handling. I could not remember that version of myself. I hadn't left my fingerprints on any of these items for 17 years. So easily, I walked down the stairs of my new apartment and placed the box on the street. So unattached, so nonchalantly, so damn ugly, so damn cute. Why couldn't I remember? The question seized me. How do we say goodbye to someone so adored without realizing that we have? So for you, tonight, for me, I did some digging. Now, by the time I'd made a cup of tea and settled onto my balcony to have an accompanying cigarette, the box on the street was gone. Perhaps it was the fact that I had a completely functional Xbox with controllers and 10 excellent games on top of the box that accounted for the speed of its removal. But equally plausible is that someone did their own digging and couldn't resist their own vinyl player being given the opportunity to crackle. Hello, did you miss me? I know I'm hard to resist. Why all can come and help me pick the sweet corn out of this. It's hard to be humble when you're so fucking big. Did you ever meet a sexier male chauvinist pig? For those playing along, those lyrics are from track 8 of Robbie's 2003 album, Escapology, song title, Handsome Man. How had it started? I don't know if I just wanted something to latch on to commit to. No one else in fucking Lithgow where I grew up was sitting around listening to Robbie Williams except for mothers of girls I was trying to sleep with. Maybe it was an escapology. I don't know. The first apartment that I rented in Sydney was in St. Peter's, right on the Princess Highway. Sydney Park Apartments. I moved in with a school chum, Richard, and two 19-year-olds set up their little home. Richard, the very responsible one. Career certainty. Me, the very ridiculous, I'm going to get into the arts. Landlines were a thing then. And fuck me if I wasn't going to get a sweet-ass landline installed in our St. Peter's apartment. Richard was happy for me to take care of this. Oh, and I did. If you called our landline and we weren't home, it would go to voicemail. And the voicemail was a cover by me of Robbie Williams' iconic hit of the year 2000, Rock DJ. You know the one? Dun, 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 dun. It just so happens that Andrew and Richard aren't home now to take your call. I bet you want to know if we'll let you leave a message. Well, the answer is, yes, you can. Aren't we clever? Using Robbie's song for our home voicemail. Just leave your name, your number, and a message, and we will get back to you. Messages left were scarce. My mother was especially mortified and just stopped calling. After 3 years of pretty solid commitment to RW, I hadn't seen him live. Oh, I could quote all the facts. You wanted to challenge me on Robbie Williams trivia, I would own you. So when in 2006, Robbie announced his Close Encounters Australian tour dates, there was no question this guy was going to be right there in the first fucking row. I did not trust my internet connection. I did not trust any internet connection. I trusted me. I had to be at the Ticketek outlet in person before anyone else. But was I going to be an idiot like everyone else in Sydney and go to a Ticketek outlet there? No. Sydney is populated. No. I was going to play this smart because Robbie Williams sells tickets fast. 36 hours before the tickets dropped, I got a train to Bathurst, booked a hotel room, then got up the next morning at 3 a.m. to get to the local Ticketek office to take my spot as the first, and at that point, only person in line. 8:55 a.m., there is a big queue. I arrogantly crane my neck round to look at the crowd. First in line, fuckers. The lady second in line compliments me that my mum will appreciate me lining up to get her tickets. I scoff. I proudly called my Sydney landline on my Motorola Razr. I pressed it against her ear. It goes to voicemail. Dun, dun. She left a message. It's 9 a.m. The Ticketek lady opens the doors. She is wise to these events. We know not to mess with her. I slap down my credit card and ID and I proudly say, 1 ticket, please. Sold out. Literally 30 seconds, it had sold out. it was so silent. Everyone just froze. It was crushing. Silent. Wait. A whisper. Wait. Ticketek lady, knowing from the look on my face that I was probably going to go back to my hotel room, get drunk and listen to Simple Plan armed with a razor blade. Wait. Sure enough, waiting the extra 30 seconds in silence and uncertainty paid off. Michael Chugg, the tour promoter, announced a second show, a Sunday show. My credit card was swiped, my ticket was secured. I was going to see Robbie Williams. So my days waiting for Robbie were spent drinking on my balcony, shirtless in striped pajama pants with my CD player blaring Robbie Williams albums. I had a big CD player. It actually had the ability to house 3 CDs at once and a button that you could press for super bass. Like actually 3 CDs at once. So when one finished, it would automatically change the CDs to the next in line. And I was double stacking the CDs so I could just put in 6. And then I didn't have to switch one was on top and which one was on the bottom. And I didn't even have to take them out of the cases. Yeah. So I have this big beast of a CD player and speakers on the balcony, and I was blasting Robbie to everyone on the Prince's Highway below. I was having my own Robbie Williams party every day, and we were right there on the Prince's Highway. Cars honking, windows rolled down. Woohoo! I sit and wait. Po-chang, ka-chang, po-chang. You said when you died that you'd walk with me every day. Fist pumping, people sung with me when the lights were red. That was when we could do a whole chorus and verse together. Why? Why was I doing this? Was this Robbie party necessary? Absolutely. Because see, the Prince's Highway is a way into Sydney from the airport. Robbie's concert was just a week away at this point. So I figured I'd do this Robbie Williams marathon every day. He arrives in Sydney, goes past my place. The limo stops at a red light. He sees me being a totally stable person dancing on my balcony to his music at 11 a.m. on my own. And of course he's going to ask his driver to pull up and come over and hang out with me. I did worry that I was missing something though. We needed a visual other than me if Robbie was going to take notice. The answer? A spray can of matte black paint and one of Richard's white bed sheets. I put the sheet on our living room floor and in big, bold, beautiful lettering, I sprayed, "Welcome to Oz, Robbie." I flung it over my balcony, fixing the top with shoelaces from my cherry Doc Martens. Now I felt like Robbie was being welcomed to Oz properly. 5 p.m. that afternoon, when Richard got home from work, he wasn't happy. He was mad, unreasonably mad. He was fine with the music. He had been for days. And he was fine with the love flag, come hither banner. He was just annoyed that I hadn't put anything under his bedsheet when I spray painted it. I really fucked our white carpet, and no amount of Richard scrubbing it would remove the perfect "Welcome to Oz, Robbie" tattooed to it. We ultimately got evicted from that apartment, not because of the carpet, although I wish I had seen the real estate agent's face when they saw it, but because Strata took issue with my Robbie parties, music, banner, and me combined. Maybe a little bit because of the carpet. As the concert got closer, I was photographed by the Telegraph on my balcony in my striped pajama pants for an article that was titled "Robbie Fever Hits Sydney." I didn't have time because of the fever to feel bad for what I had put Richard through. Wherever he is in the world, I would like to say tonight, Richard, I know you could have gotten our bond back if you scrubbed harder. I Google 5-star hotels in the CBD. First call. Hello, is Robbie Williams... Hang up. The Intercontinental. Hello, is Robbie Williams... Sorry, we don't give out that information of who is staying at the hotel. Don't they know who I am? The Park Hyatt. I don't know how this flowed from my mouth, but as soon as the concierge answered, hello, Park Hyatt, Sydney. Hello, mate. My name's Andrew, and I'm really sorry to try and get information out of you that you can't share. But look, it's my mum and dad's 60th wedding anniversary on the weekend, and I want to book them the most exclusive room I can with you. But my dad, he's just had a surgery, and I believe there's some pop star in Sydney at the moment. And as much as I'd like them to see the harbour views from the Hyatt, I'd be much more comfortable booking them somewhere else if there's going to be a disturbance at your place. I know you can't say anything specific, but I'm just trying to give my parents a beautiful gift. The response. I understand. Why don't you book them for the following weekend and he won't be here? I found him! I go to the Hyatt. I drink at the bar. I even say hi to Claire. Claire, as you may or may not know, is Robbie's guitarist and piano player. I just say hi, so casual, so fine. Okay, it's 3 p.m. on Friday. I have tickets to the 7:30 p.m. show on Sunday. I get a cab to Moore Park. I have a deck of Long Beach Blue 40s, a self-inflating single mattress, my wallet, and my phone. I roll up to Aussie Stadium and I take my position as the first in line. The first for the Sunday show. I am there before anyone arrives for the Saturday show. 7 p.m. The first wave of diehards arrive, each slightly annoyed they didn't beat King Joffrey here to the throne of first in line. We make friends though. We talk about, Robbie. We rough it together. It was cute. It was actually really nice. I watched the crowd go from me to, thousands lined up all the way into Darlinghurst. It was massive, impressive. Everyone was so excited. As you can imagine, at this point, everyone was very protective of their place in the line. People's eyes would dart left and right. Their body would shift to cut off potential cutters. I was unquestionably first. My spot was respected. People thousands deep knew that there was a nutter lined up for the Sunday show at the front of the line. I was gleefully prepared to watch thousands of people walk by me to go into his first concert while I settled in for the audio-only version. I was tapped on the shoulder not 5 minutes before the gates finally opened to Wonka's factory, and a lady said to me, "Are you the boy waiting to see the Sunday show?" I said, "Yes." "You probably want this more than me." And she handed me a single ticket for the Saturday show. I went in, I took my spot right at the front. The concert finished. I went out. I grabbed my little mattress that a security guard agreed to mind for me. I took my place at the front of the line. I said hello to the people arriving for the show the next day. The gates opened. I went in again. I went to the same spot that I'd seen him the night before. I saw the concert. I walked home. People do weird things sometimes. Weird things. Now, those concerts were fucking great. And if you have an image of me crying or screaming, you're actually wrong. I just watched someone be brilliant, holding a sign that said, Robbie, thank you for being you. And throughout all of this strange behavior, this obsession, fandom, love that we all understand, it faded. I saw someone do something world-class, awesome, twice. And twice was enough. And we all know the song that he finishes most concerts with, right? Angels. Angels. That was 17 years ago. I don't know what Robbie Williams superfans are called. I never Googled it. I was never part of a Robbie gang or troupe. I just liked him. That was 17 years ago. 17 years ago. And I started intensive therapy a while ago. I told you I'd done some digging. It quite literally saved my life. 17 years ago. 22 years ago, my best friend was killed. Her name was Jessica. There is a video of us when we were 6 years old singing her favorite song together. Angels by Robbie Williams. We return to this well, and only a few times in our lives, I think, we return to a well that we really thought was permanent for solace, grief, nourishment, all of the above, to just find out that it isn't there anymore. Where does it go? Where did it go? Mostly, how? It took me a trip to Bathurst, a can of spray paint, an eviction notice, imported vinyls, deluxe editions of CDs, a pack of Long Beach 40s, a little self-inflating mattress, a photo in the Telegraph, a custom voicemail, a prank call to Sydney's elite hotels, and a stranger to tap me on the shoulder and give me a ticket. And you must forgive me here, but it is true. And I only also recently realized that after 17 years, it took Angels twice for me to finally let myself say goodbye to my best friend. I had to be a super fan.
Wow. I love the slow reveal of that story. There's a sense of, oh man, yeah, I'm on board. Wow, you like this thing. This is going on. And then all of a sudden we said it's like a frog in a pot. You're slowly getting boiled. And then at some point you go, oh my Lord, our storyteller is not well. Something is driving this. And anyway, it's just these dark forces.
And it starts out, so kind of quite funny and joyous and buoyant and determined, and then it tips over into compulsion and obsession. And it's fascinating to hear a story that examines so beautifully both of those sides of human experience and mental health.
Indeed. And again, yeah, there's that thing of, gosh, what's the difference between passion and obsession? Being excited and being unwell. So all of that pulses through. Now, in terms of the craft of the story, I think it's beautifully written, and he performs it extraordinarily well. I mean, if you're there in the room with Andrew Henry, you're not going to forget that performance in a rush.
Well, he's a trained actor and he's got great chops.
He really, really does. And there's another part about that story that I really like, and it's the fact that Andrew really is a brave producer and he's a brave artist. To be able to examine that part of himself and then set it on paper and then want to share it with the audience. He looks at those parts of his own personality that come under pressure, that might be in that mental unwell space. And then because he's so brave at capturing that and then so wonderful at presenting that with the plays that he produces, he has that energy. And when you go and see something like Grief is the Thing with Feathers that he produced, you see his work on stage and it's all there. And the actors have got some of Andrew Henry's electricity, the whole production, the lighting design, the production design. He's got all of these wildly kind of animated forces crunched into this space on stage. I just think we're blessed to have a producer in the country with those artistic, creative skills, but also has the strength of vision and the capacity to produce as well. It's rare that these things come in one package.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew, for that beautiful story. And thank you, listeners, for being here with us.
Thanks so much. Bye.